Go through the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
STU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Sunday, January the 10th, 2021. Want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at catchhookshoot. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot for your t-shirts, and our other web store, catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com for merchandise you won't find on Pro Wrestling Tees. And you can find links to all of that and more on our link tree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot, or you can scan this little QR code right here in the corner if you're watching on YouTube. That'll get you links to everything regarding the show. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So let's dive right into everything going on in the wonderful world of professional wrestling this week, starting it all off like we always do with the match of the week. So the match of the week this week comes from AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday night, and it was the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. Kenny Omega defending against Rey Fenix. Fantastic match, as you would expect from these two guys. Really two of the best in the world, and they just tore it up. And fantastic match. Kenny Omega did retain the championship, as you would expect, but did have a little bit of a surprise there at the end, which I'll get into in a minute here. But yeah, if you are only going to watch one wrestling match this week, make it Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix from AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. Just yeah, fantastic, awesome match between these two guys. So moving right along into the next segment of the show, it is my top 3 highlights of the week, and that is called the 3 Count. Number 1 on the 3 count this week is from Being the Elite, which is the YouTube show of the Young Bucks and the AEW guys. Yeah, if you don't follow Being the Elite, definitely check it out. At the very least, check out this week's episode. But go back and watch some of the old ones too, because it's a really, really entertaining web show that these guys have been putting out for quite a few years. But this week's show was called Tribute and showed a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff from the Brody Lee Tribute show from Dynamite. And yeah, just a really, really cool episode. It showed some backstage stuff, a backstage speech being made by Eddie Kingston during the Brody Lee Tribute show, which was really just really powerful. I mean, Eddie Kingston is just an awesome guy in general. I've met him in person. Very cool, very down-to-earth guy, and definitely you can see in this video what a leader he really is in the locker room. Number 2 on the 3 count from AEW Dark, we saw a promo segment between -1 from the Dark Order, Brody Lee Jr., and Marco Stunt, and it's just very interesting visual because Brody Lee Jr. is 8 years old, and he is maybe not even a foot shorter than Marco Stunt. I mean, Marco Stunt, very small guy, and Brody Lee Jr., obviously his father, very, very tall man, so you can tell Brody Lee Jr. is going to be the same as he grows up. But yeah, at 8 years old, he's almost the same height as Marco Stunt, but just a cool little promo segment between the two of them. Brody Lee Jr. seems to just be a natural when it comes to wrestling in general. If you watch some of the videos of him wrestling around with some of the guys, and now seeing him, doing a promo at 8 years old just off the top of his head, just a cool little segment. Ended in a pull apart brawl, so to speak, with Cody Rhodes and some of the producers coming out to pull him apart, and Brody Lee Jr. chasing Marco to the back. It was just a really, really cool segment from AEW Dark, so definitely go back and check that out as well. And number 3 on the 3 count from AEW Dynamite, we saw a reunion of sorts of the Bullet Club with Kenny Omega the Good Brothers, who came in to attack the Lucha Brothers after the title match, and the Young Bucks, who came out at the end of all of that, and the show ended with the five of them standing in the middle of the ring with Don Callis throwing up the Too Sweet sign, signifying that the Bullet Club, that particular version of the Bullet Club, is back together. And of course, there was some some talk online from the current Bullet Club members from New Japan, specifically Tama Tonga, who, even though they say Jay White is the leader of the Bullet Club, Tama Tonga is he's the leader of the Bullet Club. I don't care what anybody says, but kind of talking a little trash about it. So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe somewhere down the line that'll lead to something with New Japan and AEW. But hey, who knows? But very, very cool to see the reunion of the Good Brothers, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega on AEW Dynamite. So I'm very interested to see where this is going to go between AEW and Impact. So moving into news and rumors and results and all that kind of fun stuff for the week, starting off Monday Night Raw. We had Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Charlotte all declared for the Royal Rumble. The New Day picked up a victory over The Miz and Morrison in a match made by Teddy Long, which was pretty cool. A fun little segment to kick off the show because it was Legends Night. Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce got a victory over the women's tag team champions Asuka and Charlotte. Now, the interesting part of this is Ric Flair was actually at ringside with Charlotte and actually cost Charlotte and Asuka the match because he tripped Charlotte towards the end of the match there. So, we saw Charlotte kind of get in his face and tell Rick to just get the hell out of here, basically. Riddle picked up a victory over Bobby Lashley in a non-title match, so I'm pretty sure we're going to see a U.S. title match between Lashley and Riddle. I would say more than likely it'll end up being at the Royal Rumble with those two. We were supposed to see a match between Shayna Baszler and Mandy Rose. That ended up not happening. Shayna attacked Mandy while she was on her way to the ring. Dana Brooke, Mandy's tag team partner, took her place and actually got a victory over Shayna Baszler, surprisingly. So it looks like Mandy and Dana getting a little bit of a push in the women's tag team division there. So we'll have to see where that ends up. And then throughout the night, we saw Randy Orton kind of intimidating, getting in the faces of some of the legends. Of course, Orton being the legend killer. Saw him with Big Show and Mark Henry, Ric Flair. Being Randy Orton. And then Orton did actually have a match against Jeff Hardy. Picked up a win in that one. Actually, a really good match between those two. And not really nothing to advance the story of Orton and The Fiend or Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss or any of that stuff this past week. So I would assume they'll pick it up this coming week, to continue that rivalry. Lucha House Party got a victory over the Hurt Business in a non-title match as well, and they're continuing to show some kind of dissension in the ranks of the Hurt Business with Cedric Alexander kind of, looking like he's going to break away from the Hurt Business, which I'm not a big fan of. I like the Hurt Business as a cohesive unit. They've, shown that they're dominant in the tag team division, and with Lashley as the U.S. champion, I'm a big fan of the Hurt Business. So I'm hoping, that this won't lead to them splitting up or Cedric splitting from the group, but that's probably where it's going. R-Truth ended up getting back the 24/7 title. And let's see, Drew McIntyre retained the WWE title against Keith Lee in another very good match between these two guys. And then at the end of the show, we saw the appearance of Bill Goldberg, came out and challenged Drew McIntyre for the Royal Rumble. It looks like that match is going to happen. Why, I don't know. There are plenty of viable challengers for McIntyre. I mean, there's no reason Lee couldn't get another title shot. They've been building up the story with McIntyre and Sheamus for weeks. So I don't know why the need to bring in Goldberg as the challenger, but it is what it is. So it looks like Goldberg is going to be challenging Drew McIntyre for the WWE title at the Royal Rumble. Moving on to Tuesday, AEW Dark. I'm forgetting to switch my little cards here in the corner of my video, so sorry about that. So there we go, Dark. Yeah, Tuesday, AEW Dark. Jungle Boy has new entrance music, and it is Tarzan Boy from the band Baltimore. Yeah, if you've never heard this song, look it up. It's perfect for Jungle Boy. I've always thought, that would be perfect entrance music for him, and as it turns out, Tony Khan thought the same thing because he went and bought the rights to the song specifically for Jungle Boy as a Christmas gift, no less. So, yeah, Jungle Boy now entering the ring to the song Tarzan Boy, which is pretty cool. And in the main event on Dark, saw Frankie Kazarian get a victory in a really good four-way match. Picked up a win over Darius Martin, Griff Garrison, and Angelico. So, yeah, Kazarian victorious in that one. Moving on to Impact. Ace Austin got a win in another good four-way match against Casey Navarro, Crazy Steve, and Blake Christian in kind of a preview of the Super X Cup from Genesis, which just happened last night. Had another paid ad from AEW with Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone. I love these paid ads from Khan. I think they're entertaining as hell. They're funny, with the little digs that he makes at Impact and stuff like that. And Tony Schiavone just kind of standing there looking disgusted, like just nothing but total disdain for Impact. So it's just they're cool little segments, and they do a lot to build the rivalry and the relationship with AEW and Impact. Joe Doring and the new Cody Deaner picked up a win over Cousin Jake and Rhino. And Cody Deaner, since he's hooked up with Eric Young and Joe Doring, it has just become vicious. And I gotta say, I'm liking the more serious and aggressive Cody Deaner. Tommy Dreamer came out, made the save after the match when Jake and Rhino were catching a little bit of a beatdown, and challenged for a six-man match at Hard to Kill, which is going to be what they call old school rules, which is basically a hardcore falls count anywhere type match between Doring, Deaner, and EY against Cousin Jake, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer. Should be interesting to see that one. Havoc and Nevaeh picked up a win over Jazz and Jordan Grace, so they will be going to the finals of the Knockouts Tag Team Title Tournament to take on Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, and that's going to take place at Hard to Kill as well. Jordan Grace actually ended up challenging a friendly challenge to Jazz for Genesis, which took place last night. We'll get into the results of that in a few minutes. Saw another appearance from Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers putting a beatdown on Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns. Su Yung has yet another personality coming out. We saw a segment with Deonna Purrazzo and Kimber Lee. They had previously asked Father James Mitchell to change their Su Yung problem into a Suzy problem, and apparently it didn't go quite to plan, because instead of getting Susie, we now have Susan. So I'm very interested to see where this is going to go, whereas Susie was the more kind of innocent, almost childlike personality. Susan, very serious, wearing like a business suit. So I'm curious to see what we're going to see from Susan going forward. We saw a interesting pre-taped segment between Ethan Page and his alter ego, the Karate Man, and apparently they're going to have a match at Hard to Kill. So Ethan Page not quite done with Impact just yet. Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan fought to a no contest. The actual match lasted less than 5 minutes, and before the referee threw it out, they continued to fight all the way to the back, where Alicia Edwards had been locked in a cage by Sami Callihan. Turned out to be a trap, obviously, and Shamrock and Callihan just put a beating on Eddie Edwards. From Genesis last night, Jordan Grace did pick up the win over Jazz. Ace Austin wins the Super X Cup tournament. And Willie Mack surprisingly defeated Moose in an I Quit match. I actually expected Moose to come out on top of that one. So, but yeah, Willie Mack getting the victory. Moving on to Wednesday night and AEW Dynamite. The Young Bucks and SCU picked up a win in an 8-man tag match over TH2 and the Acclaimed. At the end of the match, SCU basically laying down a challenge to the Young Bucks for the AEW tag team titles, and made mention that Kazarian had basically challenged Christopher Daniels, saying that the next time they lose, they're done as a tag team, and they've been on a hot streak ever since. So it looks like we are going to be seeing SCU versus the Young Bucks coming up sometime in the near future, I would think. We saw Chuck Taylor lay down a challenge to Miro for next week, and this is basically in retaliation for the injury that happened to Trent from the Best Friends, and the stipulation for this match is if Chuck loses, he becomes Miro's young boy. Now, if you're not familiar with Japanese wrestling, young boy is basically kind of like a second or a valet, for lack of a better term. Basically, he becomes Miro's bitch. is basically what the idea is. Wardlow picked up a win over Jake Hager in a really good match between these two guys. I mean, this is what you call a hoss fight with these two guys, and this was the match I was most looking forward to this past week, and it did not disappoint. These two guys beat the hell out of each other, and Wardlow was victorious in that one, which I was a little surprised at, but in a very, very good way. Great way to give Wardlow a little bit of a push. We had the weigh-in for the match coming up this week between Darby Allin and Brian Cage for the TNT Championship. We got our first look at the new TNT Championship belt. Same basic belt design, but with a black strap instead of red. I actually, think it... it's a small change. Obviously, it's just the color of the strap, but it makes a big difference. The belt looks really, really good with the black strap instead of the red. And of course, we did see an appearance by Sting during the weigh-in to kind of chase off Team Taz when it looked like they were going to put a beating on Darby Allin. Cody Rhodes got a victory over Matt Sydal, and at the end of this match, we saw Luther and Serpentico attack Cody, and Snoop Dogg, who had accompanied Cody to the ring. Of course, Snoop Dogg, one of the co-hosts of the show that Cody Rhodes is in on TBS, the Go Big show, got a little bit involved and hit probably the worst looking splash I've ever seen off the top rope. But hey, it's Snoop Dogg. He was having fun, and I defy anyone who's not a pro wrestler to climb to the top rope and jump off without being a little hesitant. Hikaru Shida successfully defended the AEW Women's World Championship against Abaddon. Another good match. I am a big fan of Abaddon, and I honestly expected her to win the title in this match, but Shida did retain. I already talked about Omega retaining versus Phoenix and the reunion of the Bullet Club that we saw. And coming up next week, this coming week, I should say, Eddie Kingston is going to have a match against Pac, and Tainara Conti is going to get an NWA Women's World Title match against Serena Deeb. So that should be a good one coming up this week on AEW Dynamite. So let's move on to the other Wednesday night show here, NXT. Karrion Kross got the win over Damian Priest in another really good match. Again, along the same lines as Wardlow and Hager, these two guys just went out there and beat the hell out of each other. The Dusty Classic is going to be starting next week with the first two matches, Undisputed Era taking on Breezango and Ever Rise taking on the Grizzled Young Veterans. Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano threw their hats into the ring for the Dusty Classic, and looks like the Dusty Classic is going to have 12 teams. So kind of interesting, because that means the final match is going to be a triple threat. There's really no other way to do it. So and the rest of those teams are Swerve Scott and Jake Atlas, Legado del Fantasma, Imperium, Drake Maverick and Killian Dane, Kurt Stallion and August Gray, the Bollywood Boys, Kushida and Leon Ruff, and the winners will get a NXT Tag Team Championship match, and we also found out, in addition to matches taking place on NXT, they will also take place on 205 Live, which is pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we saw the return of Xia Li, which, definitely a big change in personality for her. Just very aggressive, very brutal. Still don't have any information on who this hooded figure is that's kind of pulling the strings for Xia Li and Boa. I'm sure we're going to find out in the weeks coming up. Raquel Gonzalez got a win over Rhea Ripley in a last woman standing match. Another really good match. Shotzi Blackheart and Kushida got a victory in a mixed tag match over Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. And two interesting pieces of news that we got. The next NXT TakeOver will be a standalone takeover taking place on Valentine's Day, February 14th. And this year there will be a women's Dusty Classic tag team tournament. So looking forward to that, because NXT is one of the best women's divisions out there. So I can't wait to see how the women's Dusty Classic is going to pan out. And then in the main event of NXT, Finn Balor successfully retained the NXT Championship in another amazing match with Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, this one was right up there for match of the week. If it hadn't been Omega and Phoenix, it would have been Balor and O'Reilly. So, yeah, just a really, really good match between these two guys. So definitely go back and check that one out as well. Moving on to some MLW news. It was their Kings of Colosseum event this past week. The Von Erichs successfully retained the World Tag Team titles against the Dirty Blondes. Saw a segment from Filthy Tom Lawler talking about something called Filthy Island. Not a whole lot of information on this one. I'm assuming it's going to be something along the lines of what we've seen with like UFC Island and that kind of thing, you know, a private island where matches are going to take place. But with Tom Lawler, who knows what he's got up his sleeve. So it'll be interesting to watch this one play out. We were supposed to see a grudge match between Simon Gotch and Jordan Oliver. That match was postponed because apparently Gotch was MIA, but we would find out later on in the show, not so much. He was there. Yeah, probably the best match on this card was Lio Rush versus Myron Reed for the middleweight championship. Lio Rush was victorious. He is the new MLW World Middleweight Champion. Again, another great match, and I mean, with these two guys, you'd expect nothing less. I mean, Lio Rush, you know, love him or hate him, he's had a lot of issues, a lot of controversy surrounding him, but you cannot deny the guy's in-ring skill. And Myron Reed, one of the best young wrestlers out there. So definitely go back and check this one out as well. And then after the match, Jordan Oliver and Myron Reed cutting a promo backstage and end up getting attacked by Contra, including Simon Gotch, Jacob Fatu, the World Heavyweight Champion, and the debuting Sean Daivari. So Daivari now part of Contra unit in MLW, you know, which very interesting because Daivari was actually also a part of the Super X Cup tournament for Impact this week. So yeah, Daivari pulling double duty between Impact and MLW, which hey, I'm here for it. Any working between any companies can be nothing but good. So I'm loving it, and. We found out from Selena De La Renta she will be in charge of this coming week's MLW Fusion show. She apparently has a deal in her contract where she gets to executive produce one episode of Fusion per year, I believe it is. But and that is legit. I mean, you know, from talking to Court Bauer, you know, or listening in on media calls and things like that, Selena De La Renta legitimately does act as a producer for MLW, and you know, so these episodes where she's promoted as the executive producer, it's legit. She is running the show, and she does a damn good job every time. So this coming week, I you know, expect it to be a really good show. Los Parks are going to be getting a tag team championship match against the Von Erichs this coming week, and Filthy Tom Lawler will be the referee. So that does not bode well for the Von Erichs. And in the main event of this past week's Kings of Colosseum show, Alex Hammerstone and Mads Kruger from Contra fought to a no contest for the National Openweight Championship. And so that rivalry definitely not over. Hammerstone versus Contra, far from over, I'm sure. I know Hammerstone wants that shot at Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship. I cannot wait to see that match because those two guys are just going to go in there and absolutely try to kill each other. So moving on to some Ring of Honor news, found out, after a lot of speculation and investigation, or whatever you want to call it, from Ring of Honor, Marty Scurll and Ring of Honor have mutually agreed to part ways. So Marty Scurll no longer a part of Ring of Honor. A lot of speculation coming out of this. Is he going to go to AEW? I sincerely doubt it. He comes with he comes with some baggage, to say the least, because of the well, not even, you can't even say allegations against him because he admitted to what he was accused of. Yeah, just a lot of baggage goes along with Marty Scurll. If he's going to end up anywhere, I would think it would probably be WWE, because I think they would be able to weather that storm. But if he does end up in WWE, don't expect to see him in main events anytime soon. I mean, best case scenario for Marty Scurll is he ends up in NXT and possibly as a cruiserweight. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe WWE will take advantage of the controversy and push him to the moon in NXT and put him right in there against Finn Balor for the NXT title. Who knows? But I think if you're going to see Marty Scurll anywhere anytime soon, it's going to be somewhere in the WWE system, possibly even NXT UK. Who the hell knows? We also found out Dalton Castle is a free agent now, so a little bit of a surprise there. I wouldn't have expected Dalton Castle to leave Ring of Honor. He's pretty much synonymous with Ring of Honor, so it'll be interesting to see where he lands in the coming weeks and months. But we did find out that Bandito, Bateman, Brian Johnson, and Sumi Sakai have all re-signed with Ring of Honor, so they will be there for the foreseeable future. Moving on to some NXT UK news, Ginny picked up a win over Piper Niven, so she's now the number one contender for the NXT UK Women's Championship. We saw the debut of Ben Carter, and now made his debut on Noam Dar's talk segment, the Supernova Sessions. Was confronted by Jordan Devlin, the NXT UK Cruiserweight Champion, and ended up getting a Cruiserweight title match at his first night out. So Ben Carter versus Jordan Devlin was the main event of NXT UK, and damn, I mean, Ben Carter, I've seen Ben Carter live a couple of times at Warrior Wrestling, and he is just so good, considering he really has not been in the business that long. And then his debut in WWE, he gets a match with the Cruiserweight Champion in NXT UK and tore it up. Amazing match between these two guys, and Triple H himself even commented on it. Ben Carter is a star, so definitely keep an eye on him. If you haven't watched this match, go back and watch NXT UK from this past week, because Ben Carter just kicks all kinds of ass. And we found out this coming week, Walter will be defending the NXT UK Championship against A-Kid, who is the NXT UK Heritage Cup champion. So that should be an interesting match. Of course, Walter always has the size advantage, because not all of the guys in NXT UK, a little bit on the smaller side compared to Walter. So, but should be a good match between Walter and A-Kid for the NXT UK Championship. So moving on to Smackdown from this week, kind of a weird segment starting off the show between Roman Reigns and Adam Pearce. Roman kind of, just trash talking Pearce for making the match last week between Kevin Owens and Jey Uso, and basically Roman asserting his authority, saying, trying to show Adam Pearce that he's the one that runs the show on SmackDown, and Pearce isn't the one really in charge. And we found out some more about that later on in the show, which I'll get to in a minute here. Big E and Apollo had a pretty good match. Originally ended in a double pin, but it was restarted, and because during the time in between after the double pin, the match was declared a draw. Big E was supposed to retain the title. Apollo was wanting the match restarted, slapped Big E. That was enough to convince Big E to say, okay, let's restart this and go again. And Big E did successfully retain the Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews. Found out a little more about what Sonya Deville is doing back on SmackDown. It looks like she's going to be kind of an authority figure from what was being said backstage between her and Adam Pearce. So kind of interesting. I don't know. I like Sonya Deville in the ring. I'm hoping this authority figure thing is just going to be temporary, and she's eventually going to end up back in the ring, but we'll have to see. Bianca Belair and Bayley both declared for the Royal Rumble on the SmackDown side, and we've got new SmackDown Tag Team Champions in Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode picked up the win over the Street Profits. yeah, little bit of a surprise, but you figure the Profits have been champions almost a year, believe it or not. So it was apparently it was time to for a title switch, but a real good match between the Profits and Ziggler and Rude, who I guess are calling themselves the Dirty Dogs now or something like that. So that, or at least that's what it says on their gear and their ring jackets. So but yeah, Ziggler and Rude are your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And then we found out from Paul Heyman that Adam Pearce was entered into the number one contenders gauntlet match for the main event of the show, which just an extension of, Roman flexing his muscle again. The gauntlet match itself was really good. Shinsuke Nakamura actually technically won that gauntlet match, picked up wins against Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, and Daniel Bryan. It was just looking like Nakamura was going to earn himself a title shot, but then at the end, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso came out, put a beating on Nakamura, put a little bit of a beating on Pierce, threw him on top of Nakamura. So Adam Pearce wins the gauntlet match and is your number one contender for the Universal Championship, and will get a match against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. Now, that being said, a lot of people are rolling their eyes at this. It's, Roman picking his spot, picking an easy opponent. I'm going to try to stay optimistic on this one because, Adam Pearce is a damn good wrestler. Now, admittedly, he has not had a match in 6 years since he started working for WWE. But Adam Pearce is a former 5-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Him and Colt Cabana had some of the best NWA title matches in recent history. So, don't count out the fact that this could be a good match. I'm not saying Pierce is going to win the Universal title, unless there's some kind of shenanigans from possibly Kevin Owens coming in, which is a distinct possibility. But, I'm being cautiously optimistic that they're at least going to allow Pierce to show what he can do and hold his own for a little bit, just a minute or two. Get a couple of moves, get a couple of shots in. Let Adam Pearce show what Adam Pearce can do. I'm not saying he's going to win the Universal title, like I said, but this could be decent at least. It doesn't have to be a one-sided just squash for Roman. Let Adam Pearce get a couple of shots in. That's all I'm saying. So, moving on to some New Japan news here. Apparently, New Japan is close to a new U.S. TV deal, as was announced during Wrestle Kingdom last week. And Wrestle Kingdom started off by Kevin Kelly, the English announcer, saying it's January 4th. You know what that means. Of course, a little bit of a tribute to Brody Lee there, which is a very, very classy move by New Japan and Kevin Kelly. Wrestle Kingdom was dedicated to Brody Lee. We've got new IWGP Tag Team Champions, as predicted here on the show. The Guerrillas of Destiny did pick up the IWGP Tag Team Championships. So, Bullet Club pretty much owns tag team wrestling, and I said this on social media. You got Guerrillas of Destiny with the IWGP Tag Team titles, the Good Brothers with the Impact Tag Team titles, and the Young Bucks with the AEW Tag Team titles. Bullet Club owns tag team wrestling. That's it. There was also an appearance on video from Jon Moxley, the IWGP United States champion, basically saying, whoever wins the U.S. title certificate match, he's going to be waiting for him. And Kenta did retain that U.S. title challenge certificate, so it will be Kenta versus Moxley at some point in the future. That match is going to be just sick. Kazuchika Okada picked up a win over Will Ospreay during Wrestle Kingdom. Kota Ibushi defeated Naito on night one for the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships. And Ibushi wants to unify those titles into one, so they're no longer two separate titles. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Toru Yano wins the King of Pro Wrestling trophy. Takagi retained the Never Openweight title against Jeff Cobb. Sonata defeated Evil. Takahashi defeated Ishimori for the Junior Heavyweight Championship, and on night two, Kota Ibushi retained the Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles against Jay White. And very despondent Jay White, after that match during the press conference, basically said that New Year's Dash was it for him, and he was done with New Japan after that. Very interesting, and rumors flying around all week that WWE is heavily recruiting Jay White. So could we see Jay White pop up in NXT? Who knows? Possible surprise entrant for the Royal Rumble, kind of like what happened with AJ Styles a few years ago. We'll have to wait and see. But if the rumors are true, WWE really wants Jay White, so we'll have to see where that one leads. All right, and so now let's get into some previews and predictions for the Impact pay-per-view coming up this coming weekend. Hard to Kill. We've got the finals of the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship Tournament. Havoc and Nevaeh taking on Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. I got to go with Hogan and Steelz on this one. They seem to be red hot right now in the Knockouts division, in the Knockouts Tag Team division specifically. So I'm going with Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz as the new Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. I've got Manic taking on Chris Bay and Rohit Raju in a three-way match for the X Division Championship. I'm going to pick Manic to retain in that one. Deonna Purrazzo defending the Knockouts Championship against Taya Valkyrie. I'm going to pick Deonna to retain just because, the rumors are out there that Taya's contract is coming up sometime within the next couple of months. And as far as I'm aware, I have not seen anything that she has re-signed. So we may see Taya making her exit from Impact in the next couple of months here. Then we've got Eric Young, Cody Deaner, and Joe Doring taking on Cousin Jake, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer in that old school rules 6-man match. You know what? I got to go with EY, Deaner, and Doring on this one. They seem to be getting, they're getting pushed into that top heel faction spot in Impact. So I got to go with EY, Deaner, and Doring. Then we've got Karate Man versus Ethan Page. Now this is definitely going to be a cinematic match because, well, they're the same guy, so it kind of has to be. So I'm gonna say the Karate Man is gonna win this one, and this is potentially Ethan Page's exit from Impact, as he is a free agent. Technically, his contract ended at the beginning of the year, so. I'm going with Karate Man. Then Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan in a barbed wire massacre match. I don't care who wins this match. It's going to be brutal, it's going to be violent, and it's going to be beautiful. So, Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan, barbed wire massacre. And then the main event, we've got Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns in a 6-man tag team match. I got to go with Kenny and the Good Brothers, especially, who knows, are we going to see the Young Bucks pop up in Impact or, somebody else from AEW during this match? It's going to be interesting to watch, but I'm picking Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers to get the win. So that is it for news and rumors and results and all that kind of fun stuff for this week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey, the wrestling fans. I'm Charlie G with your Indie Cut. Let's begin our wrestling world travels with 01 USA from Noble, Illinois, from Friday, December 31st. Sorry about this late notice on this match, but I figured get them out since they're from Illinois. We had Joey O'Reilly defeat Anakin Murphy. Cash Borden defeat Eric Dillinger. Camaro Jackson defeat Kevin H. Jason Tiller defeated Z.C. Hendricks. Mike Outlaw defeated ATM. And for the IWAU Uprising title in a 4-way match, Kyle Pfeiffer defeated Daniel Eads, Joey O'Reilly, and Matt Maverick to become new champion. We go to Friday, January 1st. American Combat Wrestling and World Wrestling Network Proving Ground matches. It's on YouTube, so check that out if you wish. There was a 4-way match between Corey Keese defeating Che Guzman, Doyle Day, and Mike Reed. Allie Rex defeated Raven Marie, And Stephen Frick defeated August Arturis. Sorry about that last name. Pro South Wrestling, We Ain't Playing from Piedmont, Alabama. For their all-out title in a three-way match, champion Brandon Watley defeated Hold My Beer Hansen and Shane Mako. For their New Era Open title match, champion Ricky Cagle defeated Cameron Keese. For their Anarchy Television title, Reynolds defeated champion Tyler Culprit by DQ, so no title change there. For their tag titles, champions Ace Haven and Damian Cerrone defeated Jay Too Strong and Brock Johnson. For the SHW title, champion David Ali defeated Eric Silva. And for the heavyweight title, champion Austin Towers defeated Ben Buchanan. Some CLL matches from Mexico. There was a 6-man tag with Fisto, Luciferno, and Mephisto. That defeated Aduz, Mystico, and Titan. And another 6-man tag match, Euphoria, Gran Guerrero, and Templario defeated Bandito, Caristico, and Diamante Azul. Producciones, also from Mexico, were Cyberpunk, Judas El Traitor, and Murdoch defeated Camila Fly, Eddie Santos, and Silver Fox. Big Brazo, Brazo Celestial, Brazo Cybernetica Co., and Brazo de Oro Jr. defeated Maximo, Skyade, Supernova, and Zenki. And for the NWA Mexico Light Heavyweight title, Mascara defeated champion Blue Demon Jr. to become new champion. So there is still an NWA championship being defended. So nice to see that. And welcome to my Barrio, also from Mexico, in a Barrio Bravo tag title match. International Mara and Jorge El Salvage, where champions defeated Camouflage and Radical. Sorry if I butchered any of those names. On to Saturday, January 2nd, and the start of Stardom's 3 shows in 3 days. So the first day we had Himeka defeat Lady C, Tam Nakano defeated Gokigen Death and Ruaka. We had Mayu Iwatani, Saya Ida, and Starlight Kid defeat Azumi, Momo Watanabe, and Saya Kamatani. Utama Hayashita and defeated Unagi Sayaka. And in a best 2 out of 3 falls 8-woman tag match, Julia, Maika, Natsupoi, and Suri defeated B. Priestley, Konami, Natsuka Toro, and Saki Kashima. Okay, I'm screwing up these names left and right tonight. So we head back here to the States for Wrestling United from Franklin, Georgia. In a tag match, Chip Day and Murder One defeated Frankie Valentine and Lamar Diggs. Alex Taylor defeated Talon Oxen. Slade Porter defeated Shawn Nelson. Alex Kane defeated Vera Morales. And Ben Buchanan defeated Trevor Aon. To Time Bomb 8, as real as it gets, from Time Bomb Pro Wrestling, from Fargo, North Dakota. It's on YouTube, so check it out if you wish. It was pretty much held in a basement, from what it looked like to me. Since I only watched the first match of Dominic Greeny defeated the one called Manders. And for their Time Bomb title, No Ring Rules, champion Oren Viet defeated Damon Springle. Like I said, it was from North Dakota, and some of these guys had to fly from New Jersey to Dakota in a day, so all the best to them. Then we move to Synergy 1221 from Hallsboro, New Jersey. For the MF Network title, champion Goldie defeated Evil Kip Stevens. KTB defeated O'Shea Edwards. For the 2021 Garza Invitational Tournament qualifying triple threat match, Charles Mason defeated Eric Kovras and Steve Scott. Jay Evans defeated Casey Navarro by DQ. Alice Taylor defeated TJ Crawford. The Whisperer defeated Frightmare by DQ. And for the Synergy title match, Jordan Oliver defeated champion Brandon Kirk to become new champion. So congrats to Jordan there. Nice show. I did watch majority of it, minus the commentary, because I'm sorry, Synergy doesn't come in too well for me. So nice show. Nice to see Jordan win the title. Then we go to Renegade Championship Wrestling from Chattanooga, Georgia. For the Gold Rush Contract Tag Team match, Chris Crunk and Cody Steele, just sorry about that, defeated Chris Payne and Paul Manson. Jess Wade defeated John Bishop. And for the heavyweight title, Talon Williams defeated champion Dino Dupree to become new champion. On to Livewire Wrestling Decade of Power from Augusta, Georgia. For their Internet title 6-way match, champion Kavron Canyon defeated Ash Taylor, Garion Tyre, Kay Howday, Bob Killjoy, and Roma Miller. For their tag title, champion Shay McGrady and Will Demented defeated Brandon Parker and Charlie Anarchy. And in their title match, champion Matt Sells defeated Gaston. Then they also had a Boozerweight Classic 2 show. Those matches are Solandra Royal defeated Dream Girl Ellie. For their Boozerweight Classic 6-way match, Matt Odam defeated Jeremy Cruz, Kikoa, Solandra Royal, Tommy Maddox, and William Blackwell. And the title match again, champion Matt Sells defeated Jimmy Jacobs. So Jimmy Jacobs even got into a match to start the new year. We go to KLT Promotions from Rowan, Georgia. For the KLT heavyweight title, champion Zach Mosley defeated Mike Jackson. Jordan Kingsley defeated Travis Recon. And in a tag match, Rude Boy and Zero defeated Bryce Cannon and Cornelius Pepperbottom. On to IWA Mid-South. Out with the old, in with the new 2021 from Jeffersonville, Indiana. Daniel Luck and Gary J defeated Dewey Wellington and Congo Kong for their Mid-South Junior Heavyweight title, which is vacant. In a second match, Blake 182 defeated Anakin Murphy, Joe Demura, Kevin Giza, Nerd number 5, Nick King, and Sage Phillips to become the champion. That's Blake 182. In their IWA Rules match, Gnarls Garvin defeated JC Rodden. For the women's title, champion Thunder Kitty defeated Ari Alexander. For their tag titles, Devon Dixon and Silas Mason defeated champions Corey Storm and Joshi Boy to become the champion. Larry D defeated Blake Steele. And for the heavyweight title, champion Jay Christ defeated Toby Farley. On to Core Professional Wrestling from Sand Springs, Oklahoma. In a 4-way match, Rob Cabela defeated Derek James, Dexter Hardaway, and Drake Gallows. They had a CPW tag title Rumble match where Sam Stackhouse and Samuel Savage became new champions there. They held a heavyweight title tournament first round matches with Double D defeating Mr. Nasty and Tommy Dean defeated Kilbane. CMLL from Mexico had another interesting match where Angel Diora, El Terrible, and Niebla Roja defeated Felino, Negro Casas, and Valador Jr. To January 3rd, Stardom New Year's Stars 2021, Day 2. Saki Kashima defeated Lady C and Maika. Tam Nakano and Unagi Sayaka defeated Uraka and Saida. 6-woman tag, Azumi Sayakamatani and Utami Hayashita defeated Gokiken Death, Mayu Iwatani, and Starlight Kid. Momo Watanabe took on Siri to a 15-minute time limit draw. And then 6-woman tag, also Julia Himeka and Natsupoi defeated B. Priestley, Konami, and Natsuka Tora. Good show again, once by Stardom. Keep up the good work. On to Ryu Kaiju Dragon Pro Wrestling New Year's Special 2021. They had a show. Ice Ribbon, New Ice Ribbon 1091 had a show where they had a 14-woman tag team match. I will not put you through all those names. Gotta Move Choco Pro 78 took place on YouTube. Freedoms, Happy New Freedoms 2021. I will say for the King of Freedom World title next challenger decision 1-day tournament final match. Toshi Yuki Sakata defeated Taisuke Masaka. Sorry about that. Dramatic Dream Team New Year Special 2021. All seats 3,000 yen show where they had 713 people. In an 8-man tag, Kanosuke Takeshita, Mao, Shunma Katsumata, and Yuki Ueno defeated Akito, Kazuki Hirata, Kensuke Ishii, and Shota. That was an interesting match. And then Soma Tako, Tatsuya Endo, and Yuji Hino defeated Chris Brooks, Hiroshima, and Kasada Higuchi. All Japan New Year's Wars 2021, Day 2. Jake Lee, Koji Iwamoto, and Tajiri defeated Dan Tamara, Hikaru Saito, and Suji Ishikawa. For the bear with me, GAORA TV titles, tables, ladders, and chairs match. Jun Kasai defeated champion Yoshitatsu to become new champion. I saw a brief clip of this. This was a brutal match, so check that out if you wish. Not sure how, but find out. And then for the Triple Crown title, champion Suwama defeated Yuma Ayagi. Then Active Advanced Pro Wrestling beginning of the new year show took place, where they also had a one-day tournament. The final match was Daiji Wakamatsu defeated Takara Niki, and then they had a battle royal where Taylor Adams won that. Back here in the States for Without a Cause, Without a Crowd number 6 on the Twitch network somewhere. Jordan Ayat Oasis defeated Chris Ross. Rebel Kel defeated Timmy Lou Redden. White Mike defeated Dave Turner. In a street fight, Max Burnside defeated Jaden. And for the vacant Stallions title, in a 4-way match, Keita Murray defeated Drexel, Jacob Oso, and Steve Miggs. to become new champion. All-Star Pro Wrestling from Bethany, Oklahoma. For the Mid-American title, Garcia defeated champion Thrash to become the champion there. Scott Sanders for the tag title match. Scott Sanders and Sean Sanders defeated champions Dean Lambert and Father Podge to become the champion there. And for the ASP title, Double D defeated Gemini. And in a non-title match, Tino Valentino defeated Brawler Morrison. On to Monday, January 4th, Stardom, New Year's Stars 2021, Day 3. Gokigen Death defeated Lady C. Atsuka Tora defeated Ruaka. Tam Nakano and Unagi Sayaka went against Momo Watanabe and Saya Kamatani to a 15-minute time limit draw. Himeka and Maika defeated Azumi and Utami Hayashita. And in a 3-way 9-woman tag team match, Mayu Iwatani, Saya Ida, and Starlight Kid defeated Julia Natsupoi and Suri, as long as also B. Peasley, Konami, and Saki Kashima. Another good show by Stardom. And then on to Tokyo Sha Pro 2021, first show. Suzumi defeated Arushu Endo in her debut match. Moka Miyamoto and Yuna Manazi defeated Hirono Neko and Pam Hirajuku in a red and white ropes rename in capsules match. Hyper Michio defeated Shoka Nakajima, so she will have to change her name for 1 month. I don't know that name yet. Sorry about that. In a 6-woman tag, Miyumi, Miyu Watanabe, and Nai Kakuta defeated Aja Kong, Mizuki, and Raku. Then May St. Michelle and Saki Sami defeated Hikari Noah and Sina Sierra. Mayu Yamashita defeated Maki Ito by KO with a nice kick to the head. And that was an excellent match there. For the Princess Tag Team title match, champions Nodoka Tenma and Yuki Aino were champions, defeated Mahiro Kiru and Yuki Kamafuku. And for the Princess of Princess title, Rika Tatsumi defeated champion Yuka Sakazaki by referee's decision. She pretty much passed out from the figure 4 leg lock, and a pretty good match between these two. Nice show all around, and they had English commentary with Chris Brooks. Check that out if you can, and I hope they keep on doing the English commentary because it helped a lot, I must say. Move to Noah, New Sunrise 2021. Match with Go Shiozaki, Hiroshi Hase, and Kaito Kiyomiya defeated Keiji Muto, Masato Tanaka, and Namichi Marufuji. Hopefully I get to see that match. That sounds great. On to Dantonbori Pro Wrestling 2021 New Year. For the WDW title, champion Kazuka Miyahara defeated Kyoki Iwasaki. There was a World Women Pro Wrestling Diana show. And then a big main event was New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 15, Day 1. My favorite matches were Hiromu Takahashi defeating El Phantasmo. Great match. Kazuki Okada defeated Will Ospreay. Awesome match there. And for the IWGP Heavyweight title and IWGP Intercontinental title, Kota Ibushi defeated Tatsuya Naito to become new champions. Great match there as well. So check that out if you can. Then back here to the States for a taped show from the Nightmare Factory, Showcase number 1. Yes, from Norcross, Georgia. Cody Rhodes and Nightmare Factory are putting on their own shows on YouTube. So I'll go through it quickly. Hayden Backlund, yes, that Backlund, is related to him, defeated Logan Taylor. Brooke Havoc and Kat Spencer defeated Adina Divinity and Baby. And an 8-man battle royal. Dom Damien defeated Abraham Storm. Brian Andrews, Cal Flahaven, Casey Rocker, Luca Proctor, Mercury Peace, and Nori Botello. Hunter Knott and Rosario Grillo defeated Jacob Ryan and Josh Breezy. And Charlie Bravo defeated Dean Alexander. I only saw half of the show, so check that out if you wish. It's Nightmare Factory. Good stuff. Tuesday was Wrestle Kingdom Day 2, where Toriano became the 2021 King of Pro Wrestling title. So he won 2020, and he's holding the 2021 trophy so far. Then another great match was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, where Hiromu Takahashi defeated champion Taiji Ishimori. Awesome match. And then for the IWGP Heavyweight title and Intercontinental title, champion Kota Ibushi defeated Jay White. And after the match, Jay White put on a press conference where he said he is tired of losing, tired of missing his family, and that has led to a lot of rumors. He is signed for 7 years. I don't think he's leaving, folks, but you never know. It's Jay White. Then Wednesday they had their New Year's Dash show. Pretty lackluster, I must say, but so if you want to watch it, please be my guest. There was an Ice Ribbons Peace Party 63, and then Limitless the Road Season 2, Episode 12, where Dummy EXO defeated Channing Thomas, Divine defeated Katie Arquette, Adam Booker defeated Owen Brody, and Travis Huckabee defeated Perry Von Vicious. On to Thursday, January 7th, where NXT UK, where Ben Carter did make his debut, so check that out if you can on WWE Network. On to Friday, January 8th, Big Japan Pro Wrestling. I'll go with the 6-man tag of the Strong Hearts, with Shima, El Lindemann, and T-Hawk defeated Kota Sakafuda, Raichi Kawakami, and Yuya Oki. For the Junior Heavyweight title, Isami Kodaka defeated champion Tashihiko Yoshino to become the champion. And for the tag titles, champions Fuminara Abe and Takuya Numera defeated Chris Brooks and Drew Parker. Back here in the States for Southern Honor Wrestling from Canton, Georgia. In a tables match, Sunny Days defeated Austin Towers. In a singles match, Holma Beer Hansen defeated Cyrus the Destroyer by countout. In a Southern Honor Wrestling tag title number 1 contendership match, Corey Hollis and Michael Judas defeated Jordan Kingsley and Kevin Ryan, along with Chip Day and Kyle Matthews. And then in a SHW title steel cage match with special referee Danny Jordan, of all people. So champion David Ali defeated Owen Knight. I'd like to see that match. Hopefully it's out there somewhere. Then No Peace Underground held a show from Orlando, Florida, where for the H2O Danny Havoc Hardcore title, champion Bam Sullivan defeated Oren Viet, and Masato took on Ricky Shane Page to a no contest. Glad I didn't watch that. CMLL from Mexico, where they had Bandito defeat Templario, 2 falls out of 1. Hopefully that's on YouTube, because I'd like to see that match. To earlier today, Saturday, January 9th, Sunday Girls Step and Go. They held a battle royal where Mika Iwata won that. Ice Ribbon, new Ice Ribbon's 1092 show took place from Yokohama, where Sari and Tsukasa Fujimoto defeated Ibuki Hoshi and Suzy Suzuki. And in their IW19 title match, Takushi Haraka defeated champion Homoko Hoshi to become new champion. On to Actress Girls Colors show, where Mikato Mizuki and Yuna Mizumori defeated Mil, Rina Amakura, and Sukaran Bonita. On to Dragon Gate Open the Gate 2021, Day 1. Takato Kamiya and Ultimo Dragon defeated Don Fuji and Koji Tora. On to Japan Dream Team Go to DDT from Korakuen Hall, where Mad Polly and Yuji Hino defeated Chris Brooks and Shuma Katsumata. For the KO'd tag title match, champions Kosada Higuchi and Yukio Sakaguchi defeated Shima and Soma Taka. And for the DDT Universal title, champion Yuki Iino defeated Shota. Then on to 666 Volume 102, 2021 Dark Worlds opening battle. And they held a tag team tournament. So the final match was Koju Takeda and Yusuke Kodama defeat Fuminaro Abe and Yuko Miyamoto. So that's a wrap for me. Till next time with more indie shows from around the wrestling world. Don't forget to look out those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for other wrestling content. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone. And back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So let's keep rolling right along into the next segment of the show here, where I get to play kind of armchair promoter. We are continuing with our latest fantasy tournament, and of course I am talking about the Fantasy Booker. Alright, so we are continuing with round 1 of our Fantasy Warrior Wrestling Tag Team Championship Tournament. And this week we've got another, what I would call a quintessential Warrior Wrestling matchup here of Jordan Grace and Jonathan Gresham taking on the Space Pirates, Shane Saber and Space Monkey. Now, guys, if you've never seen the Space Pirates, look up some of their matches. They're one of the most fun tag teams you ever want to watch. I mean, Steve Tortorello and I talked about this one of the times previously when he was on the show. You know, especially Space Monkey. You see this guy coming to the ring wearing a monkey mask and a tail, and it's just the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, and it works. And then Shane Saber coming to the ring dressed like a pirate, looking like Kairi Sane's dad or something, and you know, it just works. The Space Pirates are just, they're, you know, they don't try to be anything that they're not. They're all about putting on fun, entertaining matches, and they are successful at it, and they're good at it. So, and then, you know, I put them up against Jordan Grace and Jonathan Gresham in this first round, because just the, you know, kind of polar opposites. The Space Monkeys are all about going out there and just entertaining and having fun, and Jordan Grace and Jonathan Gresham, you know, much more along the serious side of, you know, Gresham, of course, the best pure wrestler in the world right now, and, you know, Jordan Grace, one of the toughest, strongest, most hard-hitting women in wrestling right now, and you know, to see these four get in there and hook it up, I think would just be a hell of a match. But in this particular case, I would have to give the victory to the Space Monkeys, or to the Space Pirates, Shane Saber and Space Monkey, and but yeah, I think it would be just entertaining as hell. But yeah, the victory in this case, is going to the Space Pirates. They are moving on to the next round of the Fantasy Warrior Wrestling Tag Team Championship Tournament. So let's move into the last segment of the show for this week, where I give usually a not so popular opinion, although I think this one may be a little bit more of a popular opinion, but I am talking about the weekly hot take. All right, so there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of people, giving their 2 cents and their guesses about who is going to take over as the leader of the Dark Order since the passing of Brody Lee. And, a lot of good ideas thrown around out there, a lot of, or some kind of outside the box that you might not expect. Dustin Rhodes, one idea that I've seen out there online. Hangman Page, Eric Redbeard, the former Eric Rowan, Brody Lee's former tag team partner. And, I get where all these ideas are coming from. I think they're all pretty good ideas. But, I think if you're going to put somebody else in that leadership role of the Dark Order, I think you need to pick somebody from within the Dark Order. And if you're going to go that route, to me, there's really only one choice, and that is Anna Jay, number 99. If you watch the Dark Order segments on Being the Elite, she is the rest of the Dark Order is scared to death of her. Especially Jonathan Silver and Stu Grayson. And Anna is she was Brody Lee's protege. She was recruited by Brody Lee into the Dark Order, so she is, in my opinion, the natural choice for the new leader of the Dark Order. So, and I think it would work. The fans love Anna Jay. You can tell the not just the rest of the Dark Order, but the whole roster respects the hell out of Anna Jay. And to think that Anna Jay has only been in wrestling a very short time, I want to say not even 2 years, and then to watch her work in the ring, it's insane. And she has it, and I think she is the one. If you were going to put somebody in that position for the Dark Order, which I'll go on record and say I don't think it needs to be done right now. You don't need to immediately replace Brody Lee or put somebody in that leadership role for the Dark Order right away. But if it's going to be done at some point, I think the right choice for that would be Anna Jay. Just my opinion. Like I said, there's been other ideas floated out there. Dustin Rhodes, Hangman Page, Eric Redbeard, possibly, who knows, bringing somebody new, or it could be somebody completely out of left field. Hell, maybe Jake the Snake Roberts could take over as a leader of Dark Order. Who knows? But for my 2 cents, I think Anna Jay would be the best choice for that. Because, like I said, she was Brody's protege. The rest of the Dark Order is scared to death of her if you watch Being the Elite. So it just works, in my opinion. So that is going to wrap things up for Catch, Hook, and Shoot this week. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing. As always, on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to follow on social media. It's at catchhookshoot on all platforms. And you can find everything related to the show, the web stores, links to all the podcast platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, whatever. Just click on this little QR code right here in the corner of your screen, or head to linktree/catchhookshoot. So with that, I am going to sign off. Hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy all the wrestling coming up this week. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear your mask, do all that kind of stuff that you're supposed to be doing. And I will talk to you guys soon.